Hi everyone, I'm Amy and I work with people and their homes. And today I want to share with you how decluttering and organising your home can be a form of self-care. With mental health awareness on the rise, the importance of practicing self-care is something that many people are becoming more aware of. But in case you haven't heard of it, here's an outline. Self-care begins with paying attention to your own needs. It's an ongoing practice of getting into the mindset of noticing factors in your life which are having a positive or negative impact on your well-being and giving yourself permission to value your own needs. Self-care can take hundreds of different forms, and the kinds of things you can do will vary hugely from person to person, but the core idea is that you're doing something for yourself that will benefit you. A lot of the time when people say self-care, they imagine just having a bubble bath, but I want to show you that self-care can take many different forms. Some people can feel uncomfortable with the idea of self-care because they feel that it might be indulgent or selfish, but what I would say is this: every single one of us deserves to be cared for, and in fact you'll do much better looking after other people if you take good care of yourself. I'm going to split self-care into 3 different categories: mind, body and passion, although most of them will have a lot of overlap. Our minds and bodies don't work independently of each other, but it can be helpful to split it into categories to focus on each thing. And by all means make up your own categories depending on your priorities. First, I'll give you some examples for what I do for each of the 3 categories, and these will be totally different for everyone, so don't worry if these don't sound like your cup of tea. Category 1, self-care for the body. I know that I don't feel my best if I don't get enough sleep or if I have too much sleep. So I try my best to go to bed at the same time every evening and get up at the same time every morning to give myself the right amount of hours. Secondly, I know that when I eat too much sugar or stodgy food, I feel sluggish. So I try my best to eat healthily, but at the same time I really enjoy food, so I'm not too strict on myself. Category 2, self-care for the mind. For me, especially at this time, the number one thing I can do to take care of my mind is to be really careful of the media I consume. I know that I can get sucked into a cycle of negative thinking if I read the news too much, so I choose to read as little as possible so as to keep myself informed but not dwell on things that I can't change. Alongside this is noticing my stream of thoughts and gently guiding my mind away when I start to dwell on things more than is helpful. During less stressful times, good forms of mental self-care are exercise, it's good for your mind as well as your body, and relaxation, and this is where the bubble bath comes in. Category 3, self-care for passion. You might call this values or purpose, but essentially it's anything that brings you enthusiasm and motivation, and by pursuing things that we care about, we're building that passion inside of us and enriching our lives beyond just surviving. So for me, I'm really lucky in that my job is also something I'm really passionate about, and my well-being has improved massively as a result of being able to focus every day on something I really care about. In past times when this wasn't the case, I found that if outside work hours I didn't put aside time and energy for my hobbies, I just had less drive and less enthusiasm, and there was a bit of a sense of what's the point. So for me, the ultimate act of self-care was taking control of my career and starting Chirp. But it doesn't have to be that extreme. It could just be finding a hobby that you love and setting aside time to do it regularly, or even just taking the time to work out what it is that you're passionate about. Lots of us have had the same hobbies for years and years, and it can be really helpful to have a think about whether they're still bringing us joy. So where does decluttering and organising fit in with all of this? Taking care of your home can sometimes feel like a stressful or boring chore, but considering it from the point of view of self-care can really help to change your perspective on the jobs that need doing. So let's revisit the 3 categories of body, mind and passion and see how we might be influenced by these 3 areas in our home. Category 1, the body. I think the main things which can influence our bodies in our home are the ability to take good care of our hygiene, the ability to eat healthily, and the ability to get a good night's sleep. If we make the bathroom a place which is enjoyable to be, we're much more likely to want to go in there to brush our teeth twice a day or keep on top of our skincare routine. By making these experiences enjoyable, taking care of your body can seem much less of a chore. Again, if the kitchen is a calm and positive space, we're much more likely to enjoy the process of preparing healthy meals. If we have a clear worktop to prepare fresh ingredients, we're much less likely to resort to takeaways or just eating snack food. And lastly, getting a good night's sleep. Having a calm and tidy bedroom can hugely improve your ability to get to sleep at night. It also means that your mornings will be much more chilled because you can get straight on with your day and you don't have to rummage around to find your clothes or other things. Category 2, the mind. I've linked an article below which references a study where they found that people in cluttered environments were likely to have higher levels of cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And I think this is something a lot of us can relate to, feeling stressed in a cluttered environment. As well as this physical response to stress, there's also the mental process we have to go through every time we want to find something or put something away. But if we follow the decluttering mantra of a place for everything and everything in its place, then this mental process is hugely reduced because we're not having to make a decision every time, and we can use that mental energy for other things. I also really believe that your self-esteem can be improved by taking care of your home. It's the act of saying to yourself, I deserve to have a nice space to live in, and I think it can really help us to build a sense of self-worth. Category 3, passion. In the same way as I just mentioned, if we use less brain power negotiating our clutter every day, we'll have more energy to focus on the things that we enjoy. We can also create space in our homes to pursue our hobbies, like a clear desk for crafts, or a bit of floor space for yoga, or some space in the garage for a workshop. The home can also be a really great way to express your personality, and I've linked a blog post below that I wrote about how we can use our homes to reflect our values and give us a positive feedback loop. Another point is, if we feel our homes are a great place to be, we're much more likely to invite friends over, and it can be such a positive influence on all areas of our lives if we have connection with other people. So I really hope you found that helpful. I genuinely believe that our homes can have a huge impact on our well-being. Let me know in the comments if you've noticed this in your home, and be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more videos coming up. Bye!